Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel and welcome back to another BHM Pattern Designers pattern maker and designer. So I am happy to bring to you today, as you can tell by the title, this is going into my denim collection that I talked about. So if you are new to the channel, welcome. Thank you so much for tuning in today. If you like this content, consider subscribing and don't forget to thumbs up this video on your way out. And welcome everyone who's been tuning in from video to video. I know this month has been a little bit more frequency of uploads. Actually, it's been every day. So every day you've been getting pretty much shorts and then long form and a couple medium type form videos, and so that will continue throughout the rest of the month. For those who are new to the channel, I typically upload twice a week, Sundays and Wednesdays, 10 a.m. Central Standard Time. So 10 a.m. normally is when I upload. These other random videos are kind of going up when I can put them up. So thank you everybody who's been catching the shorts, catching the other videos, and liking them, thumbsing up those videos, because it really does help the algorithm since I'm kind of doing this daily thing every day. I am wearing a denim vest. This is actually a Love Notions, and then the top is by Rebecca Page Patterns, which is now You Patterns. But anyway, this was the raglan tee, so I just threw this over this today. So yeah, I want to come on in and let's first talk about the inspiration, and then we'll get into the pattern, because actually this is my second time making this pattern. The first time I made it is when it was first released, and it is by Sew Your Bag, and this was actually the first pattern Catherine released in her subscription, because she started her website just doing subscription boxes, but then over the past few years it has evolved. She no longer does the subscription boxes, but she sells hardware, kits, all of that good stuff, fusible interfacing, all of that good for your handbag. And I'll talk about some of the things that I use today that I recommend her, and there's somebody else I'll link also in the description box as well, but check them out. They have some really good fusible interfacing for handbags, which is really good. So this is the, and I want to make sure I pronounce it right, Alkebulan, the Alkebulan, and it says, is the oldest name for Africa. In Arabic, it means the land of the blacks. In Hebrew, it means mother of mankind or Garden of Eden. And so this name was chosen for her bag, just kind of the kickstart of her business and everything like that. If you had already been following Catherine on social media prior to her launching her business, you know her handbags have been exquisite. So when she just transitioned, and she still make handbags, but when she transitioned into doing this as her full-time business, it was, you know, a no-brainer to support, because she was already doing amazing work. And so let me just tell you the dimensions of the bag. The finished dimensions is approximately 15 inches wide and by 12 inches high and 4.5 inches deep. And this is labeled as beginner friendly. I did do a couple different things with my bag that did require my walking foot. I need to take my time, do a little hand cranking, but we'll talk about that. But the other thing I want to point out before I get into the inspiration look and tell you how I got to this from the inspiration look. When I was preparing to make this bag, I saw that actually Sew Your Bag on her Instagram had popped up. She is running this month, let's see here, it's called the Alkebulan Bag Swap. And so it says, in honor, and I'll probably pop this up here on the screen too. It says, in honor of Black History Month, we're excited to announce a bag swap featuring her very first bag, The tote: sew a piece of heritage using vibrant Ankara fabric or any fabric of your choice and swap it with fellow creators. And so, as she says, it's not just a tote, it's a celebration of culture and community. So when I tell you this bag is really easy to put together, it's about, well, it took me about total 4 hours because I was stopping and ate and everything like that. I actually went live on Instagram when I started it, and so if you all are on Instagram, you would have seen my live where I started it, but I didn't tell you what the bag was. So now that you know what the bag is, and that you can get the pattern at Sew Your Bag, and it every pattern sold, she said, $5 will be donated to Memorial Sloan Kettering for gynecological research. And so it is for a worthy cause. So I would say go ahead and grab the pattern. It really is something that you can sew up relatively easy, but maybe you think you might not be able to get to it. I would say still support it because she's doing this worthy cause where she's donating a portion of the proceeds for research to the organization that she had listed. So, all right, let's get into the inspiration look. If you missed my denim collection series, you all know that I am doing a denim collection the entire month of the entire year of 2024. Every month I am putting out a piece that is going to go into this collection. So by January of 2025, you know, I'll have, because you know this is going through December, I'll have so many different pieces that I'll be able to incorporate with other things within my wardrobe. So if you saw that video, I talked about that this year I'm continuing to hone in on my style and what I like, and I really like that kind of tomboy chic. I do like my my girly girl dresses here and there, but what I gravitate to the most is that definitely more laid back, you know, look, that style, if that makes sense. So and I'm doing a pattern no buy, so I am not buying any patterns this year, whether it be commercial or independent, but we can get into that in another video. So let's get to this inspiration look. I will leave my Pinterest board down in the description box in case you want to have a nosy peek through, kind of see what I am pinning over there, because you know it's all kind of stuff getting pinned, and when I'm sitting back and everything, I just kind of, you know, go through Pinterest and see what else, because you know then they do a lot of suggestions and I'm like, ooh, I like that, I like that. But anyway, so the handbag is this denim patchwork bag. It says it's an extra large shopper, big burrow shopper market bag, and it's made out of repurposed old jeans, upcycled, and it says on here it was available on Etsy. I'm not sure if it is or not still, but anyway, available on Etsy for $129.23. And just looking at the variations, so that first picture you see, you can clearly tell that it is not lined. It is not lined, and is more slouchy, more of a slouchy bag. And then the next picture shows you, you know, from a distance, hanging up, how it looks, you know, held by the handles. And then it just had a couple other pictures that I'll pop up, and then this final picture, it shows one pocket, and it looks like, obviously because it's an upcycle piece, that they use the pocket from the jeans, which is clever, for the inside of the bag for a pocket. So I thought that was pretty clever. So that's where my inspiration came from. What I will say is that I had no intention of having the inside of my bag not to be lined. That's not really my style. I like a clean finish and look on the inside for me. And then also you will notice the handles. The handles look like, I can't really tell, but it looks like from here, the design on the handle looks like some kind of embroidered stitch, like hand embroidered stitch, unless these are upcycle handles from something else. I don't know, but that's what it looked like to me. And so I thought that was really nice, although I knew I wasn't going to incorporate that into my bag. So that was the inspiration. And the size, it said it's a extra large. I can tell it's kind of big in the way it kind of is a little floppy. I knew I wanted mine to be a little bit more structured, and I did not want mine as big. So enter Sew Your Bag, the Alkebulan. And here she is. Here she is. I absolutely love her. Look at this. Yes, all the seams are matching. I will say, because this is this denim that I use for my bag, it is patchwork stitched together from that patchwork that's already stitched together from JoAnn Fabrics. Actually, let me grab a piece so you see what I'm saying. If you have been following my channel, you know I absolutely love this fabric. Thank you. One of my subscribers sent me like almost 3 yards of it that she had no intentions on using. And so anytime I see it, I buy it usually. And so I have quite a bit of this. And I've made a handbag. I've made a dress. I'll pop up a picture of a look. I made this. So I love this denim, this patchwork denim, but this is how it comes. So on the front, this is how it looks, but on the back, the wrong side, as you can see, all those squares are stitched together, which will make for some, maybe depending on your machine, some challenges when making a handbag, because you're sewing over those seams that's already in the denim. And if you can tell, she is standing up on her own. Here's my hand. She is standing up on her own. And that's because the front and back has foam attached to it. And then my handles, I have some of this faux leather. And that's what I use. I actually have a faux leather. It's sitting right over here. Okay. I actually have a faux leather that was very reminiscent of the strap handles from the inspiration pic. But I was like, ooh, I think I want the darker. And then I asked my husband, we held both up to the denim and we both said, yeah, the darker one. So that is what I decided to use. I do have, you won't be able to see it. If I remember, I'll throw a clip in of it, but there's my label. It just says SND Handcrafted, stands for SewNaturalDane Handcrafted. And so that is the label that I have on the front. It doesn't call for any hardware. So, I mean, unless you want to count the label as a hardware, and you don't have to put a label on there, but I did. The straps, this here, like I said, this is the second time I've made this. The first time I made this is when it first came out, because I was sent the box. And so I end up selling that one actually within a couple months, I think, at a market that I did. I end up selling that one. If I have a picture of it, I'll definitely pop it up, the one that I did. But so for me, obviously, I'm not participating in the swap because nobody's getting this. I was so looking forward to making this. I am so excited about making those inspiration looks from Pinterest. And so this here is my bag, the front and back. The bottom, I did not put any feet or anything on the bottom. You most certainly can. If you're a beginner bag maker, you probably don't, you're not going to do that. You're just going to follow the instructions. And the good thing about this pattern is there is a full sew along on Sew Your Bags YouTube channel, which I will link in the description box as well. The sew along is because she when she does her sew along, she's live. So the sew along, I think, is about 2.5 hours, but some of that is her talking to the people who joined live, or if people had questions while she was sewing live. So no worries. It's, you know, it's not going to take you, you know, that whole time. You'll stop and start. But like I said, it took me 4 hours because I was stopping and starting. Let me share with you the inside of the bag. So here's the inside. This is a reversible tote, if I did not mention that. I have no intentions and never had any intentions on making this, you know, the outside and everything so I can flip it right side out. I can if I wanted to, but I'm not. It's always going to be on this denim side. And so the inside of my bag, this is how she looks. It has these ties on the top, so you can actually tie the ties as tight as you like, right? So, you know, you have this up on your shoulder or something like that. See how it kind of folds in? You know, can nobody get in there? But you do have the ties on the top. And then on the inside, you have pockets. So I decided for my pocket on the inside, I did want it to be the denim. So you can see that. And it's 3 pockets. I know for my first one, because I was looking at my notes while before I sewed this, my first one I did 4. I had 4 pockets. You just stitch an extra line. But this one, I just did the 3 as the pattern called for. And she talks about that in the Sew Long as well. What got complicated for me, because you do, the way you drop in the lining is really good. It's a drop-in lining, and which is really nice. But you do, once you drop it in and you fold the 2 folded tops together, you are stitching through all of those layers. And so because I did use this faux leather, where my strap is super thick, but as you can tell, it just went over beautifully all the way around. And I actually went really slow, and I hand cranked a couple pieces, because what also made this complicated, a challenge for me, depending on where the strap fell. Let me see if I can show you. Here we go. Where the patchwork meet and my strap was there, imagine that seam from the patchwork denim, and I'm trying to sew through this here strap. I sew on my JoAnn HD 3000. I use for the entire bag, even the handles, my Mara 100. Typically for handbags, I use for the top Mara 70 and my bobbin Gutermann Mara 100. But for this, it's majority of this is denim, so I just sewed my straps with the same Mara 100, and I also use my walking foot, and I use the denim needles. So I just, you know, where there were areas like that, I took my time going over it. Even for the side, even though this strap, as you can tell, it's really, you know, it's not a wide strap, it's only about 1/2 inch, but the seams where some of that patchwork was, you know, serged together on the back, and I'm folding that in and I'm stitching over all of that, I had to go really slow over that, just to make sure I didn't break my needle. I didn't want to be zooming through. But my top stitching all the way around is absolutely beautiful. I was excited about getting this done, because I want to wear it, start wearing this bag for running errands, for going places, because the other bag I'm currently using, I'm a little rough on my handbags. And that one is starting to show a little wear, so I definitely want to switch out. I am one that, when I used to buy ready to wear handbags, I switched out my handbags like every month, every other month, because I just love handbags. And so now I definitely, and when I started making handbags a few years ago, I was like, oh, this is so awesome. I can just make what I want and switch out as often as I want. Now, the thing that I do want with this, and that's how it's looking closed up there at the top. The one thing I do want to do with this is make a denim wallet. That's also on my Pinterest list. Another thing I want to suggest that you can do, I did not do that for this one. I wonder, did I do it for the first one? I cannot even remember. But you can add a closure snap, a magnetic snap here at the top. If you want something a little bit more than just the ties, you can do a magnetic snap. So this here can close at the top, and you have that. And as you're going through the sew along, you will see where you will need to add that snap before you start closing everything up and everything. That will be a real easy add. But for me, I was fine with this, fine with the simple tie top, and I think it fulfills my inspiration look. You all will have to let me know what you think. I cannot, I'm excited. I'm gonna be wearing this actually, like I said, right away. I'm just so over the moon with this, and I want even more of this fabric. It doesn't take a lot of fabric. Actually, let me just tell you a couple things. The foam that I use, I love the By Annie. foam. Like superb, by Annie. I highly suggest it. I didn't quite have well, I had enough, but because I have a couple more projects coming up, I was like, let me just use the rest of my JoAnn foam. So that's what I used. I mean, she's good, right? But let me tell you what I did use for the other, because you do have to fuse interfacing to the lining as well as to the main panels of the bag. I used Woven Fuse 2. And when I make handbags, I like to use the really nice interfacing. So you can shop at Casting Handcrafted. Sew Your Bag sells it. I have quite a bit left because I have some from Casting Handcrafted separately that I purchased. But I also have a lot of this left that I had from, who is this? Barb's Bags Got Interfacing. So yeah, I will leave links to I highly suggest, especially if you're going to be commissioned, or depending on the style bag, maybe if you're just starting out making bags and you're just doing a couple test runs or something like that, or simple pouches, just get the Pellon, for that at JoAnn's, and you know, just so you can get used to it. But you'll notice when you switch over to your Woven Fuse and the more nicer, higher quality interfacing, it makes a world of difference in your final product, as you can tell. And so although I did use JoAnn's foam, all of my interfacing is the more higher end interfacing, which I absolutely love. The handles do call for putting interfacing in, but that's if you're using the cotton, because this is domestic machine friendly. It calls for cotton and canvas, which, you know, super easy to sew through. But I did not use interfacing in the handles because once I doubled over the handles and everything, they're nice and sturdy. I didn't need to add any interfacing to this, otherwise it would have been way too thick and a little bit more bulky to sew through. But it's sewed through beautifully. If you saw it over on Instagram, you know that. What else did I want to mention? I think that's it. Let me know what you think. I will leave a link to Sew Your Bag. If you did not know, Catherine is also an instructor for our retreat for 2025. So those of you who are coming next year, I can't give any of it away. It's going to be good. But she is one of our instructors for the retreat next year. So you definitely have to, yeah. Anyway. So that is it. Let me know what you think and how mine compared to the inspiration look, what you think about that. If, again, like I said, if you want to follow along on Pinterest and kind of see what I'm pinning periodically, go check that out. Don't forget, submit your entries for BHM Pattern Designers. These are the rules. Make sure you're tagging both at SewNaturalDane and at BHM Pattern Designers and using the hashtag BHM Pattern Designers. Also, stay tuned for Wednesday. That will be my next collaboration I'm very excited about. This month is February always goes by fast. But thank you everybody for tuning in today. I greatly appreciate it. You all have a blessed rest of your week, and let me know down in the comments what you think of this handbag. All right, everybody. Bye.